Good morning again, folks. Welcome to today's second episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to that horrible world known as the Agape boarding school. But before we get into the buffoonery and the clown circus that has become my state, the usual disclaimers. In the description, blah. See what this clownery's gotten me to? In the description box, you are going to find the links that are pertinent in regards to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri, that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits against it. They've had, so far, one former staff member arrested by the FBI, a doctor that is facing prison time after substantiated multiple claims of sodomy and sexual abuse against children. We're in a clown circus. We're going to go over that here in a minute. But please, folks, read all of these articles, all right? Share them on all your social media. We need national and international pressure on this little state here. Okay? You're going to find out why in a minute. We also have the link. Please share it, especially right now. It is the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition, okay? Alright. And again, I don't have an edit button, folks, so sorry. Now, we also include the links to the Stop the Shocks campaign. That's right, folks. We are still, after 30 years, still going after the JRC. These links include Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discussed Agape boarding school, folks, you're going to see clips of and hear descriptions of people with disabilities, mental health issues, and abled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and use your headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on this channel and we talk about dark subjects. If your child is below 16 and watching this channel, parental advisory is very obviously advised and encouraged, alright? Also, because of this whole situation and the whiplash that happened yesterday that we're going to be reading about this morning, I may stumble over my words, and as I already have during the introduction here. If I do so, apologies in advance, alright? Okay, so this came out yesterday. Let's get ready for this clown circus here, alright? Missouri Attorney General files new petition to close Agape boarding school. This was filed at 2:06 p.m., so let me give you some background here. About around 10 a.m., I'm thinking, sorry, it's been a blur. The case was mutually dismissed from the state and from Agape's side. And they required that the DSS agents that were there to be removed. Only to come back in the afternoon and file a new state case and have the DSS agents return. This after 2 weeks of the courts kicking the can down the road. So let's get into it, alright? Okay. This is coming from the Springfield News Leader. I am including the link to this article in the description box, along with the other Agape boarding school links. The Missouri Attorney General Office filed a new petition Monday requesting the Agape boarding school be shut down and its students removed to safety. The new petition comes after the AG office expressed intention to dismiss the September 7th petition. In a phone conference Monday morning, Cedar County Circuit Court Judge David Minton dissolved the order that allowed Missouri Department of Social Services Children Division workers to remain at Agape boarding school. If you want to talk about a drop in my stomach yesterday, folks, that was it. That was it. I felt like it was The JRC all over again. The attorney representing Agape Boarding School confirmed via email that there are no state workers at the school as of 12:51 p.m. Jeez. I want you to think about the students who came forward while those agents were there. I want you to know the fact that those kids, after those agents left, were not removed with them to safe housing. They're still there. Think about that for a minute. The Attorney General's office fought hard to continue the 24/7 monitoring by DSS workers, but the court denied the office arguments and dissolved the order allowing that access. Remember, folks, this is the judge that is he is a founder of the firm that is representing Agape. So remember when I said it felt like a setup? It was a setup. Sometimes it really fucking sucks being right. The office has asked the court under the new case that was just filed to reinstate DSS access to ensure that the students at Agape are safe, said the Attorney General's office on Twitter. Believe me, there was some backlash because this dude has been spineless as fuck. As the Attorney General, due to the law passed last year, he has every right to use the authority of his office to close this down. The fact that they continue to go through the local courts in Cedar County, when especially Eric Schmidt knows how they are trying to fucking circumvent and bury this case, is insane to me. It's insane. Use your power, Eric Schmidt. What I feel like he's doing is he wants to look like he's doing something while actually doing literally nothing. And in so doing, making us look like fucking clowns. Making our whole state look like it's run by the fucking circus. But let's hear his idiocy, shall we? Update in our fight to protect the students at Agape during a court conference this morning. Because the Attorney General's office was unable to present new evidence under the second amended petition, the office has stated its intention to file a new petition. When the dude literally has the authority to just shut it down and get these kids to safe spaces, he continues to hammer on the same Cedar prosecuting office that has basically snubbed his office at every fucking turn. You know what the definition of insanity is, don't you, Eric? The fact of the matter is, you're kicking the can down the fucking road and you're trying to act like you care so much, and you're trying because it's an election year. This is half-assed and you know it. You have an avenue. You actually have an avenue while this is being investigated to get this place closed down, and you have refused to use it. That's the facts. But moving on. In the same statement on Twitter, the office said it filed the second petition because it was unable to present new evidence under the second amended petition. In addition to the second petition, the office filed an application for a change of judge. I fucking knew it. So basically, because while the DSS people were there, new allegations came forward. They used that as a means and excuse to dismiss the original case. The level of buffoonery here. So because of new evidence, we're going to put the kids that came forward at fucking risk. Leave them there. File for a new case. The fuck? Is this buffoonery? Y'all don't give a shit about those kids. Or any of the rest of us with disabilities, mental health issues, or just issues in general. How do you fuck up this bad? do you live with yourselves when you fuck up this bad? You put those kids that came forward at risk. You removed those officials. You did not give those kids who came forward safe haven. If you think that those kids didn't immediately become targeted by staff, then you haven't been watching the JRC and you're batshit insane, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Moving on. Agape Boarding School has a great lawyer, and they have fought tooth and nail, but in the end, justice will prevail, said the former student advocate Robert Buckland. The hundreds of victims who have come forward will see the day that Agape closes very soon, because we will not stop. You're damn right. I am a dog with a bone, folks. If y'all know anything about me, it's that I'm a dog with a bone. When it comes to places like Agape Boarding School and JRC, I will never stop. I'll never stop. Ever. Now, here's another little thing that came out of yesterday. Our House Speaker asked for federal action. Missouri Speaker of House Rob Vescovo, an Arnold Republican, wrote to federal prosecutors last week asking them to act immediately in regard to Agape. He said, "I believe it's appropriate for federal investigation and prosecution to take the next important steps to put an end to what amounts to child trafficking," Vescovo wrote to the U.S. Attorney Teresa Moore of the Western District of Missouri. "If we are going to protect the many children who continue to be held captive at this institution, it's clear your office offers the most expedient and effective path forward to obtain justice." He criticized a long line of local officials who have either turned a blind eye to or helped cover up the criminal actions of the staff at Agape, and wrote that it is obvious that federal assistance is necessary to protect the students at Agape, in a letter first reported Monday by the Missouri Independent. Across the aisle, a House member has filed legislation during special session that would require all Missouri residential care facilities to be licensed, including religious ones that are currently exempt. Representative Sarah Unzicker, a Shrewsbury Democrat, called it a direct response to Agape and other boarding schools' ongoing litigation. It should be licensed in the first place. If you're going to that place because you get bad grades and you're not accredited school, what use is that diploma for anything other than toilet paper? I'm just saying, if the state does not recognize your school as a licensed school, what good is the diploma other than for toilet paper? Let's be blunt here. Okay? Let's just be blunt. For too long in Missouri, children in unlicensed care facilities have not had the protection they deserve because the Children's Division has not possessed the oversight needed, Unzicker said in a statement. She scheduled a press conference for later this week on the legislation, which would likely fall outside the parameters of the governor's current call for special session. In the new petition, the office cited the following reasons for why the children should be removed from Agape boarding school. Current Agape students have alleged abuse and neglect by current Agape staff members. Former Agape students have corroborated reports of abuse and neglect by current Agape staff members. DSS has found multiple current Agape staff members abused or neglected students, and multiple Agape employees have not completed mandatory criminal background checks. Oh, fuck me. It's the JRC again. This really is Missouri's JRC. They literally are. Holy fuckballs. I mean, I know I called them that in the beginning, but holy mother of God. I hope it doesn't take us over 30 years. This new filing today is the Attorney General's attempt at a do-over, said the Agape boarding school attorney John Schultz. God. The initial petition filed on September 7th sought immediate injunction relief to close Agape boarding school after a staff member was added to the Missouri Child Abuse Neglect Central Registry and there was not confirmation from the school about the staff member's employment status. That should have more to do with it. Why are we basing it on one fucking guy? Eric Schmidt. You've been an attorney for how fucking long? You should know better than to build your case based on one fucking guy. Especially when you have substantiated claims against several staff members. The circus. The circus runs my estate and apparently my attorney general's office. God. A May 2022 DSS investigation confirmed claims of an Agape employee neglecting or abusing children at Agape boarding school. According to the findings of facts, that staff member declined to appeal DSS's findings. In September 2021, the Cedar prosecutor Ty Gaither filed 13 low-level Class E felony assault charges against 5 people linked to the Agape boarding school. Again, they're covering their asses. They are covering up for these bastards. It's Massachusetts courts and the Judge Rotenberg Center all over again. I've seen this shit before. I've seen it for 14 long fucking years, and I have sat there and watched while those kids continue to be tortured and shocked and starved and sleep deprived. And now I have it in my own state. Mother of God. If you can tell, I'm fired up. More than 19 lawsuits, actually over 21 at this point, have been filed against Agape boarding school by former students. So, if that doesn't clue you in to the level of fuckery we had to endure yesterday, welcome to my life. This is insane, folks. This is buffoonery. This is the circus come to town. I'm almost practically speechless at this point. How in the name of God can you fuck up this badly in protecting kids? Kids. Obviously, I need to take a breather, folks, but I'm going to close out on that note. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject and on the JRC. The few that we do get tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. On these videos that I do with Agape, a lot of weird shit tends to go on, whether it's turning off my sound, whether it's making me sound like Darth Vader towards the end of it. There's usually some type of issues. If any of that goes on while watching this video, apologies in advance, but I'm not remaking it. I gotta breathe, and I gotta make food for the next week. I do appreciate your time this morning, though, folks. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Thank you, and bye-bye. We'll see you next time.